Could go horribly, could go brilliantly, but
I think it's a good idea.
yeah. Okay, cool. Right. Let's talk about Destiny now.
That's what we're all here, really.
Now,
Let's not beat around the bush anymore.
yeah. I mean, Destiny came out just over a week ago now.
Yeah,
Is
it
that
was
right?
last Tuesday, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, what are we now? Thursday. Yeah. So it came out about 9 days ago. I guess thoughts. Because I know there's a list of things that
So it's
obviously
just like where to begin with thoughts.
yeah there's a list of things we all want to talk about, so it's best to just go.
Yeah.
I tried to really like it. I really wanted.
Yeah.
I
Tried.
really wanted
Exactly.
to love this
It's
game.
exactly that. I was willing to like grind and put in whatever I had to do to ensure that I liked it or like, loved it, you know. But I feel I felt that the starting segment when you're on Earth,
Yeah.
kind of spoilers, but not really. If you've played the beta or the alpha, it's pretty much that. But that little segment where you sort of first get revived and it's like, yeah, I'm your ghost and your guardian, blah blah blah, and it's like, okay, cool, getting to know my character now, go through Earth, and I really liked how amazing it looks on Earth and stuff. But then it very much quickly became that I found once you finish the beta stuff, if you played the beta, which is pretty much Earth, it quickly became a lot easier to do everything. I found like I blitzed through planets in no time. Like there was like what 5 or 6 missions per planet, a couple of strike missions maybe.
Yeah.
And I found that I just blitzed through it far faster than I ever thought I would. I honestly thought the campaign was going to keep me going for a while, and I was quite shocked how quickly I got through it.
Yeah.
It was. I don't know. It's crazy. I mean, one of the guys at Bungie was hyping up as being, this generation's Star Wars for like.
I think that's
story.
what made it so dangerous as well, and the fact that like when I did play the beta, I loved it. I thought this is going to be amazing. If they do more of this, it's going to be so good. But then they didn't. They just kind of copy and pasted.
Yeah, I was gonna say they did do more, but they didn't elaborate.
That really bugged me when I found that every mission you go into is pretty much clear waves. Let the ghost do his thing for 5 minutes while you protect him. Go through, kill a little boss, and you're done. And it's other than that one mission on the moon with the sword and stuff that you get.
Yeah.
Every mission was the same.
I enjoyed the sword.
I loved the sword mission.
So satisfying.
Loved that mission.
Yeah.
When I first got to that bit, I thought to myself, okay, they're starting to put in the new shit now. No more of this, copy and paste. It's going to be some new stuff. And then you do that one mission once and it's done. And then you don't do anything like that again. Other than there was that one mission that we did where there was a big tank boss that came. It was one of the heroics, wasn't it?
Mission on Mars.
Yeah.
Oh, I done that. The other
Big
day.
old tank thing comes.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
cool. Something different again. But even
pain
some of
in
the
the arse.
bosses, like, they're very boring. And they're very stupid, NPC-wise. Because,
A lot of the bosses are just standard NPCs, increasing size a little bit.
yeah, and bigger
They have
guns.
the same moves. They don't do anything different.
There was one which had like a big old minigun and he had rockets and stuff. And literally all he did was walk from one side of the room to the other and would
Is
fire
this the
at
big
you.
green thing?
He was kind of like he was like a giant titan, is what he looked like in a way, like a mutated titan. Is the only way I can describe it. But either way, like literally, you could because it was like a symmetrical map. You can go on the little railing bit and you could go underneath. Waves and waves would come to give you ammo because it's the only way you get ammo is from the waves. And it just felt like he didn't really ever threaten you, and it was just time consuming, wasn't it? You just had to. All you had to do was murk him for like 10 minutes. Like, he's not really going to kill you.
Oh, I know what you mean.
And
I've done that the other day.
And it's just really like.
It's the same strike as the tank, the big tank. one.
Yeah.
And that bugged me as well, right? When I got to level 20 and they said, okay, yeah, end game is going to be where it starts, and I was fully willing to believe that. Like, okay, MMOs technically, I know it's not an MMO, but MMOs that's where late game starts. You get to the late game, and then the game really opens up in a big way. And then I found out the first heroic I ever tried to do at level 20 was exactly the mission I did in the beta, like 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Exactly the same.
I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, if you don't know what you're doing after level 20, then you shouldn't be playing Destiny or whatever, or you don't know what you're doing or whatever."
I know exactly what I need to do. It's just I don't want to have to do it.
Exactly. It's,
Yeah.
it's a grind fest. Even like the PvP side of things, I really wanted to try and get some of the PvP Crucible gear you can get, like the epic gear. And I'm like, okay, I'll do the dailies, and I quite enjoy playing the PvP. Like, I think the PvP is solid. I really think quite good.
It's definitely good.
I think they're missing a really fundamental part of it, but I think it's really good.
What
either
are
way.
they missing?
Ranked. You don't have a
Oh,
rank.
right, yeah, there's
like,
no separate thing.
I mean, Halo 2 was renowned for being the best because it had such a good rank system. You leveled up and you go down if you suck. and you level up in each individual game. But in this, it's just like you get your level, obviously, but your level doesn't really mean anything.
No.
But then it actually does, because when you're a low level and you fight level 20s, they're going to have a lot more moves than you.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I don't know, it's just...
I think the PvP is broken. Shotgun and what was
There's
it? The pulse
really,
rifle.
yeah, the fusion
Fusion
rifle.
rifle. Sorry, I mean
There's some really gay combos, like really, really bad. Like especially the fusion rifles and the shotguns. Like I run on the shotgun all the time because
I refuse to.
If it's close range,
yeah,
you're not
Yeah,
gonna win
no,
otherwise.
no.
yeah, that's the thing. It's like I want to win, so I'm like I will do what I have to win. And
Mm.
back in the Halo days, I used to love shotgun sniper. That was kind of like the combo.
I will say for Destiny's multiplayer modes, I would rather play Destiny's PvP than Titanfall.
Mm.
A Titanfall got boring very quickly.
I can quite happily get like I can still play Destiny Online. I think there's a few things that I would like to see them do more of. I don't really think there's any maps that are particularly big other than the moon one.
I like all the maps.
I like the maps. I think
all
they're
pretty
really well
good.
structured. I think they're really good maps. But I feel like there's no big team map. You know where like back in the Halo days you would go on and you'd have a map where it's huge and you can quite happily snipe and there'll be loads of different tanks and stuff. But there's only really one, well maybe two. I think there's one on what's that other planet where you go down the long
I
corridor
know which one you mean.
and there's a
I
couple of
remember.
tanks on there.
I just want to say, Mercury, the map on Mercury looks awesome.
Which
Like,
one's
you know
that?
when you go outside and you just see the sun.
Have I done that?
Have you not?
I don't think because that's 3v3, isn't it?
Is it the one with the light shining through the middle of it and moving the cogs?
think
I don't
so.
think I played that
yeah,
one.
yeah, moving
Yeah.
cold. You just go outside, and because you're in Mercury and it's so close to the sun, you're just blinded by this
Yeah.
massive sun. I
I
thought
haven't
that was
actually seen it.
I don't
really
think I've
nice.
seen that one.
I played that
Do you know
map
why?
like 5 times as well.
Do you know why? Because something that really annoys me as well is they had a thing a couple of days ago. It's like, oh, play skirmish on multiplayer, blah blah blah, and there's a trophy for skirmish. It's something like you have to capture like your thingy or whatever it is, like a number of times. I'm like, oh, I might as well go for this. So I played a couple of games. I was like, oh, I'll come back to that. I've been on every day since. They've taken it off,
What, taking the trophy off?
taken skirmish off.
They had bounties
Oh,
for it as well.
yeah.
I had 2 bounties for it, which I,
I
couldn't
don't see.
do,
That was weird as well. 'cause I
Why?
remember the first day, I could only see 3 game modes. I was like, I thought there
Yeah.
was supposed to be like 7. Like, where
Yeah.
are they? Because I thought there was supposed to be one where you can go in and your gear does matter. Like you get the
iron-
armor from your gear.
They've
Yeah.
announced that in what's
So,
coming up.
oh, okay. So
Yeah.
that's not out yet.
No, I mean,
I'd like to play that. Even though I'll probably get raped now.
going on to parts of it that they're bringing onto it. The raid.
It's out.
This is my
Is
bone.
it
of-
out now?
Yeah.
This,
nowhere near
yeah,
ready, apparently.
this is my bone of contention. Actually, the raid is you have to be at level 26 to play it. Now, I know it's going to be there forever. Blah blah. Well, I'm assuming it is. I don't know. It might take it down after a week. But as someone who has a job and a family, and sometimes has to do the dishes and wash up and stuff like that,
As you do.
I do not have the time to in a week get to level 26.
That's the problem.
And I
You're
cannot even
forced to
touch
grind
this
it. That's the
yet.
thing. You're forced to grind to get the gear you need.
They kind of made it too hardcore.
Yeah, it's like they should give you different ways that you can approach getting the gear. Like even if it's a case of doing sort of quests and stuff throughout the map that aren't just what you've already done before, opposed to just either doing PvP or either doing like the strike missions. Because that's all you can do to get the gear. I found is do those missions and play PvP enough, and sometimes get some good gear.
Yeah, I mean going back to the raid actually. Obviously, you can't do the raids on matchmaking. You have to have another. There have to be 6 individuals.
That's a pain in the arse as
which is
well.
a pain. It is a massive
Like, where are you
pain.
going to find 6 people that have got the gear?
And 6 people actually did complete it yesterday. The first lot were what are they called? Some sort of clan. I can't remember what they're called. So apologies. The guy at the top here is called Fraser Bowles. And they died a total of 281 times over 10 hours.
10 out. Oh my god.
I think it was 10 hours 43 minutes. I don't have that stat up. I've only
And
got
the
a
thing
couple of
is,
stats,
right,
but
I'm just trying to picture what it would be like to do a raid for 10 hours, 46 minutes. Because all that would happen is,
they're not getting hungry.
there must be like, it must be so hard. Because when you used to play, like, when I used to play Warcraft and stuff, when I originally fell in love with raiding, it was hard because you really had to know a lot of mechanical stuff about the boss as well as your own characters and stuff. But with this, you're going to go in there and you're just going to be shooting for 10 hours. And you just got to shoot in a certain spot, and that's pretty much going to be the extent of what you got to worry about. Like where he's
Yeah.
going to land, how he's going to hit you, maybe. I mean, I haven't seen it at all, so I have no idea. But the fundamental is it's going to be just like a heroic strike. It's just going to be a lot of shooting. So they would have been
Yeah.
in there for 10 hours, just pummeling enemies.
Lots of
Yeah.
waves of mobs.
Yeah, and it just seems like that would become very. I would find it so tedious. I was getting bored of just doing the heroic ones we were doing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, going back to the actual sort of story missions and campaign missions just for a second. What did you guys think of the plot of Destiny, the story?
Didn't really realise there was one till the end. Like, I mean, it got to the point where you get to that one place where it gives you a cutscene, and that's all that's there. Oh, what's it called?
Reef.
Reef. That's it. Yeah. And I was like, okay, finally getting some story going here. And then it just kind of seemed to. I feel like the whole story just kind of fizzled.
I
Fizzled
don't.
by,
I
you know
don't
what I
think
mean?
it even got that far.
It's just like.
I mean, you awake from Earth, you leave Earth. For some reason, I don't know. There's a big white ball called a traveler on Earth. Something humans have light or something. You go to the moon. There's some woman there. Spoilers for Destiny, but
Oh, yeah,
really,
massive spoilers,
if
isn't
you've
it?
not even played it, it really doesn't matter.
Yeah. You're not going to be like.
There's some woman on the moon who then vanishes. She goes to Venus or something.
Yeah.
What happens after that? You go to Venus.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
go and see some brother and his sister's a queen or something.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
And then they're like,
That was
oh,
at the
yeah.
Reef, yeah.
And then the guy's like, "Oh yeah, go and get this head of this I don't know what it's called, the
Oh,
eye
the
of this gatekeeper."
so,
Yeah. He's like, "Oh yeah, you'll never do it." Ha ha ha. You go and do it. You come back. He's like, "Oh, you managed to do it.
Five,
Oh,
minutes, 5 minutes later.
well done." And then you go to Mars for some reason, and go to a black garden.
Looks
and
good though.
just-
It's a nice looking garden.
It looks lovely,
Yeah,
Destiny.
It's truly
There's
next
nothing
gen
there.
graphically, isn't it? It's just like it really just. But yeah, I mean, even like the things with Peter Dinklage, it's like you've got this massive A-list
Terrible,
actor right now.
By the way, terrible.
Massive actor, like who could have easily like just persuaded people to play the game because of who he is. But he literally, I didn't realise he was going to have such a little part because pretty again, what you hear in the beta of him saying is pretty much what he says throughout the whole game. Oh, this is going to take some time, and it's just like, oh, okay. And that's it. You don't really
Yeah.
you don't really sort of, I don't know, you don't really ever feel anything for him whatsoever. Like with Cortana.
Yeah.
It's like you generally start to feel bits for Cortana because she's kind of with you. You truly believe she's with you. But
Yeah.
I feel like I could have done half the stuff without the ghost.
I mean, I said in a video review, like, he's nothing compared to Cortana or Guilty Spark or even like in Zelda. Like, I know there's no speech or anything in Zelda, but even like
Your wisps.
like Wisps is Sonic, man.
Oh yeah.
That's a different story entirely.
Oh.
Yeah, even like Midna or what's the one in Skyward Sword? I think it's Fee or whatever. I know they don't talk, but there's a bit of interaction there. There's a bit of emotion. With this ghost dude, he's just like, oh well, gonna hack this again. Good luck with those enemies, yeah.
Yeah, it's just,
Cool.
I don't know, man. Like,
We're not even protecting him. It's not-
no, it's like you're fucking tiny, mate. You just get in there and do it. Open the door. I'll go hide in the corner for a second.
Yeah.
You open the door.
it's just
I
every
really,
level.
I hated that. I hate having to just defend something while waves of mobs come after me. That really bugs me.
Yeah,
I find it really boring.
there's no
You do
progression.
it a lot.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You do it so much, and it just becomes like. I mean, even when it gets hard, if you try and do it in hard mode, or you try and do the heroic stuff for it, it's exactly the same thing, but they hit like a truck. That's all
Yeah.
it is. There's no like. I don't feel like the enemy's any smarter. I don't feel like they react any differently. I feel like they just throw stuff at you harder, and that's all it is. Even with the bosses, same thing. They're not very smart. They just
No, there's
they
just,
hit like a truck.
just bullet sponges.
Yeah, exactly. I found some of the mobs were harder than some of the bosses. Like, who was it always killed? Knights. The knight people always killed me.
Can be, yeah.
Because there was a few times where, like, again, you're defending Ghost from... it was one of the ones on Earth, actually. You know, where you go through and you defend him and the big ships come through the portals and you've got to defend.
Oh yeah.
And every time in there,
yeah,
for some reason,
yeah.
the knights would just fuck me up. Like, come in there and whack me up. I'm like, shit, what am I doing wrong here? And I found them challenging because of how they ambush you.
Yeah.
Because it takes you by surprise.
Because you're low level as well.
Yeah, you get the little things that run at you, then they come in, and it's a lot goes
Yeah,
on. But I
yeah.
feel like with some of the bosses, because they're so slow and stagnant, it's almost very easy to deal with.
Joe,
Yo.
how do we fix Destiny?
Oh, that's a difficult question.
Sorry for
Fix
springing it on you.
Destiny. I don't think there is an easy fix.
Well, I say fix. Let's just point out that Destiny has more than made back its money in a day.
Oh yeah, like they don't know worries. It's just,
So
I feel like what they need to do from here is they need to like really deliver on what they've said they would in terms of how there'll be constant content coming out. But then it doesn't. The thing
but
is,
then you've got constant content that I can't play.
Yeah.
I cannot play the raid.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
I've paid 50 quid for this game, and I can't play some of it because I have not put
Yeah, they need a
You know,
matchmaking system for
X amount of hours
Yeah.
into it. Well, they need
Yeah,
to lower the
100%.
level.
and well.
Why don't they have a lower level raid?
Yeah. That's the thing. Why
It's
you
just
have
slightly easier.
Yeah,
though.
just have a heroic
Yes.
raid and have like a normal version of it where
Yeah, I mean, it's-
people that have just hit level 20 or like level 21 can
Yeah.
go in and try it out.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like people like myself, and I'm sure there is loads of people in the same situation. Like, it's not like we've not put the hours in.
Oh yeah.
You know, we were at level 20. I think we're all sort of 20, 21 around the
Yeah.
table, aren't we? But to get to level 26, it's not like
It's a long way.
it's not going through to level 1 to 5 at the beginning of the game where it's like 2-3 hours. We are talking
I
hours and
think
hours and
I've
hours.
been 20 for about 3 or 4 days, maybe longer than that, but yeah, probably 3 or 4 days, and I've got almost 2 levels, and I've played like quite a bit. Like when I've got home and stuff, I've rammed on the PvP and stuff, but you just don't go that quickly because it's a luck factor as well.
Yeah.
With a lot of the PvP, you finish a game of matchmaking, sometimes you get gear. And sometimes I get gear that's actually got quite a lot of light in it, and you're going to level up from that. But then sometimes you're getting nothing.
It's all down to how quickly you can get the marks and the XP for the Crucible to unlock the legendary gear there.
I mean, I don't even want to do the Vanguard stuff, like the PvE stuff.
No.
Well, I have no interest in grinding that out. I just could not be bothered to go through and do what I've done already on hard difficulty. I'd much rather play the PvP because I enjoy that kind of stuff. I enjoy the first-person shooter and stuff. But yeah, I mean, a matchmaking system. It's got to have a matchmaking system. I couldn't believe there wasn't one for the heroics and the weeklies and stuff. I fully expected to be dropped in with a few teammates. It stuck me on my own. I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
I mean, we could play as a 3, but I mean that's half of a raid. We need to find 3 other people who would have similar gear.
Yeah.
If we got to 26, or when we get to 26.
Yeah. Crazy. Absolutely crazy. Yeah, I guess that's our little talk about Destiny.